Hello all, I'm Sai and you're watching The Book Dragon. In today's video, I'm bringing to you my July TBR. So without any further ado, let's get into the video and I'll tell you about all the books that I'm planning to read in the month of July. The first book that I'm planning to read in the month of July is Jimbo by Terry Pratchett. Now this is another Discworld novel. If you have been following my channel, I read Going Postal last month and it was such a funny, great, absurd, weird book and I just loved the experience of reading that book. It was comical in every sense and in this book, rather than telling you what this book is about, I'll just read you the blurb because it'll make a better way of telling what the story is about rather than the ways in which I can tell. And I'll just read you the blurb. A weathercock has risen from the sea of Discworld, and suddenly you can tell which way the wind is blowing. A new land has surfaced, and so have old feuds. And as two armies march, Commander Vimes of Ankmar Park City Watch has got just a few hours to deal with a crime so big that there's no law against it. It's called war. He's facing unpleasant foes who are out to get him. That's just the people on his side. The enemy might even be worse, and his pocket disorganizer says he's got die under things to do today. That is, he has to die under his to-do list today, but he better not, because the world's cleverest inventor and its most devious politician are on their way to the battlefield with a little package that's guaranteed to stop a battle. This world goes to war with armies of sardines, warriors, fishermen, squid, and at least one very camp follower. Now, that itself is a very absurd premise, right? Every book of Terry Pratchett is like that in every way, because I've read two of his books until now and both of them have been so sarcastic, so funny, so political. They reflect the actual world in the Discworld in a great comical way. And you even saw this one. This book is just about a war and how he tells about the war. That's the best thing in the blurb itself, and I'm very much pumped to read this. It is also very short compared to Going Postal. I don't know how he's going to write the story of a war in such a small book, but I'm very much pumped to read this. The next book that I'm including my July TBR is the second book in the Millennium Trilogy, which is The Girl Who Played With Fire by Stieg Larsson. Now, actually, I put this book and the third book, which is The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest, in my previous TBR, that is in my June TBR, but I didn't end up reading them because there was a lot more which I did. There was a lot more reading which I did. And in this book, this series actually was said to be a 10-book long series of crime thriller novels written in stories based on Sweden by Stieg Larsson, but unfortunately the author passed away after writing the third book, hence we just have the trilogy alone. The first book in this series, which is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, it was such a great book, guys. The character work was good. The two main characters are unbelievable, okay? They are not at all normal, they are stereotypical in every sense, but the story that happens to them, it is so interesting. It is so interesting, okay? It is so weird, it is so strong, it is so pungent, it is unbelievable yet believable. It is so torturous in every way, but you just have to read it. It is that unputdownable in terms of a thriller, and it was a great try reading that book. I read it in like January or February, I don't remember properly. I have a dedicated review for the first book. I'll try to link it down in the description. It was really good, so I'm very much pumped for reading this in this month. The next book that I put in my TBR is the book that I'm most excited for in this month, and it is Ponniyin Selvan by Kalki. This is the second book in the Ponniyin Selvan series. It is a Tamil series. It is also available in English. If you're having a Kindle Unlimited subscription, do check it out because all the 5 books are available for free in Kindle Unlimited in English. So you can definitely check them out. They are available in Tamil also. They are available in the original language as well as the translated version. But I'm sure that it'll be good in every sense. But in Tamil, it'll be better because it's the origin of the story, okay? It's the original language in which the story was written. I started this series 5 months back and I just ate that first book. It was delicious, okay? Everything about that good book was so relatable, so good. If you're a person who reads books in your mother tongue, there's no better experience than that in the world, okay? And it was so good in that sense. And my brother, what he did after I finished the first book, after quarantine started, okay, I read the first book in January or February, I don't remember when. He started the second book 1 month into the quarantine. I think he started it in like April or May, and what he did was he read all these 6 books in 7 days. Okay, believe me, we had a working week then. He used to work in the morning shift. He used to sit in the evening and read through the night and finish 1 book per day. The last book is such a chunker, so it take like 2 or more days for him. But he completed the 6 books in the 7 days, guys. I was dumbstruck on seeing him, and I'm the one who's running a booktube channel, not him, and I am supposed to read more than him. But he just finished an entire series in a week, and ever since that happened, I've been so much intrigued to pick this up, and I want to discuss what all happens in this one to him. And he also put up a bomb in my mind saying that Game of Thrones seems to have been copied from this series, and that itself makes me want to read this more, because Game of Thrones, Ponniyin Selvan, this has been finished long before the books even got writing, and I'm very much eager to pick this up for that allure. The next book that I put in my TBR is another repetition, just like The Girl Who Played with Fire. This is a book which was in my TBR in May or April, I don't remember properly, but I didn't end up reading this, and it is The Lost Symbol by Dan Brown. I read the book Angels and Demons by Dan Brown a year back, and I just loved it, and I've made many people read it ever since. 2 of my friends finished reading it. One did it in December or January, December, and he just loved it. He was raving about the book to me at work whenever he saw me. Okay, we used to meet during lunch alone, and it was for like an hour when we feasted together. Every time he spoke to me during the lunchtime for almost an entire week was about that book alone, and I was feeling like, why did I even introduce this book to this guy? Because he was speaking about only that to me always. For like even 2 or 3 weeks back, he just texted me saying that, do you remember that book? Do you remember this thing in Angels and Demons? It was great. I was like, dude, 1 book, just leave it and move on to the next book. And it was such a good book. And another one of my friends, she is also working with me, and she finished it in like a week, and she was also saying that, why did you introduce this book to me? Because I'm not able to work. I have to read this, I have to finish this, and then move on to that. It was such an experience reading that book, and I was so glad that other 2 people whom I know who are book lovers in every sense also loved that story that much. I'm sure that this will also be good in every sense like that, so I'm going to give this a try this month for sure. The next book that I put in my TBR is one which has been on my bookshelf for over a year and a half right now, and it is One Day by David Nicholls. Now this is a romance story that is set in like the 90s or early 2000s, I don't know properly. I remember starting reading this book, and I read like the first chapter. Okay, it was a bit slow, so I just dropped it, but ever since I dropped that book, what happened I don't know. It was like this weird thing going around me, and every booktuber that I knew, or every small booktuber that I knew, I follow them specifically for books that are not that famous but good. There's this one channel called Get Bookish. You have to try the channel. They don't put out a lot of videos, but the videos that they put out are always good, and they don't speak about books that everyone else speaks about. Okay, that's a really tough thing to do in booktube. Speaking about things which other people don't talk, and introducing new books to readers, that is a really difficult thing to do. And that booktuber, she just spoke about this book one day, and I was like, is it such good a book, really? And I want to read this ever since. And I also found that the audiobook for this is available in Storytel, so it will be easier for me to finish this one. I can just plug in the earphones and listen to it while following it up in the physical form. It'll be good in that way. If anyone has read any of these books which I've spoken about in this video, do let me know how they are, so the experience will be better for me while reading them, and I'll not even build up expectations if they are not that great. The last 2 books in my TBR for July are non-fiction self-help books, and they are both audio books, so I don't have a physical copy of them. I'll just pop up the covers here. They are Hero and the Power, both by Rhonda Byrne. I read The Secret by Rhonda Byrne in February or March, I don't remember. In the first 3 months of the year, I just read that book, and I'm sure that is the best self-help book that I've read this year. Everything in that was very much factual. I thought that the book was overhyped and it was not that much worth reading before getting into the book. I just judged it just because many people seem to like it. Many non-readers seem to like it. That's the point. Okay, it's not that people who read a lot of books or self-help books in general like that. It was just that just like the subtle art of not giving a fuck. Okay, many people who are not that much ardent readers, they love that book because that might be the one of the very few number of self-help books that they might have read. I thought this book was also like that, The Secret, and it's an old book. It's not even a new one. It is an old book, and it was really good. Okay, I had my brother's friend once when he came to my house after I started my channel. He asked me, "Have you read The Secret or not?" I said, "No, it's just overhyped, right?" And he was like, "No, it's not overhyped. You have to read it because it's that good a book." I was like, "Okay, I trust you, and I'll read that." And I just read it the next month that he told me, and I was like awestruck and dumbstruck in every way because it was such a good book. It was such a practical book. Okay, Rhonda Byrne, when she said anything about which we need to follow, she had proper proof for that. It's not that if you do this, you can do this will happen to you. It was not at all like that. If you do this will happen to you because it has happened to other people. So it is very much highly likely that it will happen to you. It wasn't such a good sense like that. And I've also heard really great things about the power as well as Hero by Rhonda Byrne, and they are not even long audiobooks. They can be read in a short span of time. So I'm planning to cover these two in the month of July. The next book that I put in my TBR is hands down the most excited book. That's all for today, and don't forget to mention the books that you are planning to read in this month in the comments below. I'd like to know them a lot, and if I find time, I'll also try to read those books along with you guys this month. That's all for today. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. If you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.